The future and relevance of green libraries will be shaped by the rise of digital media and also by the cumulative effects of climate change. We believe that hosting locally produced digital content using sustainable ICT infrastructure will be an important foundation for green libraries. Such content will make libraries of the 21st century more accessible than ever by integrating Creative Commons content across a broad range of educational and environmental subjects. In anticipation of these emerging trends, a collaborative arrangement between Yarra Plenty Regional Libraries, a primary school, a local government and a university in Melbourne, Australia, has been in the early stages of implementing a working model of a green library. The creation of the Green Library has been broken down to 3 stages. 1. The investment in sustainable ICT infrastructure. 2. Using open source digital library software to host Creative Commons content. And 3. Encouraging local communities, especially schools, to publish Creative Commons content. Shaping this vision are the following tipping points: the ease of creating, publishing and hosting digital content, the legal recognition and acceptance of Creative Commons literature and open source software, the availability of cheap and resource-efficient computers and e-waste, relatively cheap, large and portable digital storage memory, and the growing realisation of the impacts of climate change. E-waste is a growing problem in Australia and also around the world. In Australia, the average Australian produces around about 20 kilograms of electronic waste per year, and councils are receiving lots of LCD monitors, keyboards, mice and other computer waste. So we decided to invest in the Raspberry Pi computer because we could build this Raspberry Pi computer using all that electronic waste. So rather than just recycle this material, we decided to build computers for children using this electronic waste material.
So I've had many calls of people wanting to know about this cooking class that's happening at the library. And I laugh and tell them that, no, it's really a computer, and they kind of like, well, how does that even work? So a lot of people are kind of lost when they hear Raspberry Pi. It's not really, the name doesn't really explain itself. So the basic way to explain it to them is that it's just a very small computer. The studies have shown that entry-level graduates at university level in computer science subjects have really their knowledge coming to it is a lot lower than it was 10 or 20 years ago. And that's because there's a lot more closed systems that they grow off with and not tinkering, or they're just not able to. Even if they want to, it's very difficult. So these kind of hardware, the Raspberry Pi and the Arduino, that's what it's all about. So they'll have a greater understanding of what it means to build a computer program or a piece of hardware.
Our community, we have quite a low CIFA index. We're dealing with people that are quite close to the poverty line. So this program has been wonderful to show people that might not necessarily think they can afford a computer. We are teaching children through this computing, through these programs, also an e-waste message. We are teaching them how they can be responsible in the future and how climate change is happening and what they can do for their future.
Core to libraries is the information which they contain, and now in the digital age, it's important that this information is held on low-cost computing infrastructure. Also, with the rise of open source software and Creative Commons content, it's very easy to host this material within the library space. Because of the wide availability of open source software, digital libraries have appeared as well, which are quite cheap and easy to implement. This makes an excellent framework to host Creative Commons material, and we think that if this Creative Commons material focuses on sustainability issues and other environmental issues, it could help better define what a green library is. We believe that libraries, and green libraries in particular, are going to be important information resources in the future to help societies deal with environmental change, climate change and the like.
In terms of libraries, we're a safe space and we're a knowledge exchange space. People in our community come to us when they want to find out things. And so we have that responsibility to be across all of these things.
In terms of sustainability, I think if we see a switch from schools buying all these expensive equipment and textbooks and stuff as well to this open source cheap hardware, all that money that's saved on those products can be put towards teachers and other things like that. So it's going to save a lot in terms of not just environment, but costs for the schools to operate.
We feel that the publishing on the digital libraries at the library would be a good purpose, a genuine purpose for our students to do activities like writing and poems and any piece of literature, and to have that published in a library would extend that to their families, to the community, and give them a purpose for actually doing writing and not just doing it for the sake of it, but having a place to see it and be proud of it and share it with others.
I think one of the biggest and most interesting ones is the knowledge waste aspect, where a lot of the kids in schools, their assignments and work like that is more or less discarded after they're finished with it. So our aim is to create a kind of like ecosystem where the work gets uploaded and is provided as future examples for the kids after that, and over time it gets better and better and better, and nothing's really wasted. So it's prompts the kids to put more effort into it because they know that their work's going to be shown to other people and it's going to stick around. They could come to the library where the file server's hosted and show everyone their work is located in a physical place, which is a big thing, you know, it's tangible.
We are concerned about our students being on safe websites and trying to show them responsible use of internet, and anything they put out there, that they have to be careful about the information they give about themselves and their families, and make sure they're considerate about what they're putting out there. And these are valuable skills they're learning with the Raspberry Pi, and particularly linking in with libraries that it's more public. So they're learning to be careful about what they're putting out there for everyone to see, because it's actually there for life and they're learning that. And if it's in a public space, going through the library, they're more cognizant of that. Whereas if it's just in the school, they think, okay, I'm right. But in the library, they'll see that. Sustainability has been highlighted in the AusVal's curriculum, and now it's featured in the Victorian curriculum, the new curriculum coming out. It's an important part of community education and education in schools. We're looking at ways that we can get the message out there via our students to parents and to the local community. And our students are keen to promote that in the community. And using a digital library can share their learning and their understanding to the community and help, and they can have a larger impact. And that's actually helping a lot of the students to know that they can have a larger impact outside of school.
Often in our staff, we don't have the skill set to provide these programs. But if you can look to your local community and see who you've got with this sort of expertise and who you can partner with, it's another sustainable program. And it's something that can really make a difference and strengthen partnerships within the community as well.
The hallmark of libraries has always been to provide free access to information to local communities. Now libraries must make the jump into the digital age, and by working with this new medium, come to understand their place of relevance, especially in the face of climate change. Over the past 1.5 years, a library, school and university and local government authority has been investing in small, resource and energy efficient computers assembled using e-waste. By taking this lead, we believe that an important step towards the creation of green libraries has been made. By establishing an identity around resource efficient and open source ICT infrastructure and Creative Commons knowledge base, libraries can expand their reach into the community. Our vision for green libraries is to host Creative Commons content on local digital libraries running open source software, and to teach the community how to access and contribute to this content before the full effects of climate change can be felt. When today's societies make the transition to a low carbon economy, local populations will need access to good quality local and resilient information resources, and the opportunity to creatively build on this information base.
We have a responsibility of how we can teach people to be more sustainable at home. And that was the whole idea of the project. Sometimes these things can be a little idea and then they can have a ripple effect.